Hello, this is James Dupree. I'm the writer, director, editor, and producer of the film that you're watching right now, Shattered in a Heartbeat. This is actually the third cut of the film. This is, in all intents and purposes, likely the final cut. I may someday go back and rework some of it, but this is the third cut of the film. It's the fourth short film I shot. My first was Amber, which was a class project that I had to do, and the second being Midterm Armageddon, the third being Final Armageddon. Both those were just for my own purposes, and then there's Shattered in the Heartbeat, which is also for my own purposes. Shattered is interesting in the fact that it's kind of doing what I had originally wanted Amber to do, and that is be a narrative that's told by visuals and music. With very little dialogue. Amber started off very much in that vein, and then dialogue was worked in to try to create character conflict. And in the end, the first half of Amber turned out pretty good, but the second half is not really my favorite. But I learned a lot making that film. Shattered is kind of the spiritual successor. It's not a direct sequel. It's a very different character, despite the fact that there are ghosts involved in both. And the woman you're seeing here, Gina Femia, played the ghost in both films. But Amber failed in the second half of the film, where I feel Shattered succeeded in a lot of respects, because Shattered is a 17 and a half to 18-minute short film, and it's told completely through visuals and music only, with the exception of two pieces of dialogue that come in. One with, you'll hear me, random fact, I don't credit myself for this, but I play the news anchor that tells the news later in this film, and Gina plays her mother to in the phone call that you hear later on in the film as well. But moving on, because I know I'm rambling, forgive me, folks. This is my first commentary that I've done on my own. The Shattered in a Heartbeat was an interesting experience, because when I started writing it was a lot darker than the version you're seeing here on YouTube. In fact, it's a lot darker than the version that I've made entirely, because there was a lot of things that I wasn't really sure about or comfortable with at the time that I started shooting this, because I'm relatively a new filmmaker, and I'm trying to get into that comfort zone, only to realize that you have to sort of be out of your comfort zone in order to do it. But in the original version, there was a lot more sexual content and a lot more violence, and the gore factor, while still subdued a lot, even in the original script, was still heftier than what you are actually going to see in this film. A lot of it was due to the fact that I wasn't really sure what my actors were going to be comfortable with doing, and I made the mistake of just assuming that the lighter in tone that I went, the better off. And only to later kind of find out that my actors were pretty much all there for me, and I should have just said something. But again, that's the pitfalls of being a new filmmaker. You learn as you go. But I'm still very proud of this particular cut of the film. I'm very proud of what I've done. I believe, a vast improvement over Amber, and showing a progression in my filmmaking style. And for that, I have to say I'm really, really pleased. Um, okay, I suppose maybe I should tell you a little bit about the technical aspects of this. This was all shot on hand cam. I shot it on a high-def Sony Handicam. I wish I could tell you the model type. I don't remember offhand. It was it was from our resource center at the college, so I didn't really take mental note of what the actual camera model was. But it was a high-def Sony Handicam. None of this was shot on a tripod. It was all shot on. It was completely shot handheld. Sort of in the vein to give it a voyeuristic look. And I wanted to kind of keep that voyeuristic look at the same time, giving it sort of a film-esque feel. So the color corrections that you see in here kind of look like they're from a professional film. But on top of that, the overall look of it still kind of looks like it's shot on a handheld camera. And that's really the look I was going for because I really wanted this to be raw. I wanted it to look kind of like, almost like you're the observer of what's happening here, and at the same time bringing you a little bit closer. Um, this scene right here, not to jump subjects too much, but this scene right here was shot at my friend Alan's house. His parents were gracious enough to let me use their house. They live about 20 minutes away from the college we were going to. And they were gracious enough to let me tie people onto their onto their table, pour fake blood all over their tools, and generally make a mess of their house. We cleaned it all up, don't worry, folks. But so I'm gonna give a special shout out to them right now because that without them, I don't know where we would have shot this. Um, all the light you see coming in is being pumped in by two 500-watt light bulbs from from an actual lighting kit from the resource center, and it's all being pumped in through windows and a little tiny door window. And then I came back in and color corrected it to make it look like it was nighttime. Um, it's probably one of my favorite sections of the film because of the contrasting shadows and light. This right here is the forest scene, which was thankfully a lot warmer than this particular night that we shot than the night we shot in the city. The opening scene, the opening intro, just to throw it out there, the night that we shot in the city for that was just over 30 degrees, and Gina wasn't dressed very well at all, and neither was Amanda Reiner, my other actress who I throw great gratitude out to for doing this film. Um, but this particular night in the forest, which is just outside the apartments at the college, it was actually fairly warm. I think it was in the 60s, upper 60s, or even lower 70s, and obviously Gina had a much easier time shooting that night than we did on the night of the city shoot. We had blankets, we had cars running, we tried our best to keep everyone warm. Unfortunately, it was just not possible to keep people as warm as we'd like, and it wasn't really possible to shoot later in the year either because of our very intense schedules that year. This is, by the way, I shot this my spring semester of my senior year, and this is in the midst of a senior project and a showcase a theater showcase that was undergoing a lot of production. So this had to kind of come in between all that stuff. So unfortunately, we got stuck shooting on days and nights that weren't particularly the most desirable days and nights to shoot. Thankfully, that forest scene and that morning scene that you just saw were actually fairly decently warm, a lot warmer than it was in the city scene. Right here, you're seeing Paige. Just to throw that out there, Paige is the name of the ghost in this. You're seeing her in this bathroom, kind of freaking out, realizing that something isn't right. She's probably not in a good place if she's covered with blood. And she's kind of freaking out here. And this is supposed to be a gas station bathroom. Unfortunately, we couldn't actually get a gas station bathroom, so we shot it in the bathroom of one of the dorms. But it kind of looks like a gas station bathrooms because our dorms kind of look like gas stations. Or, yeah, pretty much. And so we just shot it in there. We got it all nice and full of bloody, like, mess and good stuff like that. And we had to clean that all up. So, yeah. Fun times, folks. Fun times.